Good morning, Prince. Good to see you. You were here last week. Excuse me. Towards the end of the discussion, I remember you came up with the time again. Hello, Mike. Good to see you. So we wait till more of us show up. And of course, in the meantime, if you have a question, you can start. And we'll start our conversation, and the others will join us as they would. Hello, Remy. Good to see you here. Remy, where are you located? I know where Prince is, and I forgot where Mike is. However, at least I knew at one time. Remy, you seem to me to be a fresh face or fresh name. So let me know where you're tuning in from. Hello, Mark. Good to see you. Mark asks, my main man, Mehran, do you prefer meat more or vegetables more for your typical meal? I prefer vegetables more. I do eat meat as well, but I try not to if I would know enough recipes to get proteins and all that from the vegetables, which is a little bit more tasking to prepare or find it if I don't have time to prepare. So, but I do prefer vegetables far more than meat. I prefer, if I can, not to eat meat at all. But I guess a little bit conditioning, a little bit inconvenience, and also sometimes you just, accept it's easier, I guess. Hello, Debbie. Good to see you, Debbie. How have you been? Anyone who is already here can throw in a question and we can start our conversation, and while others join us. As you know, we have a weekly get-together on Saturdays and Sundays, and sometimes I have been lazy and wasn't able to make the Saturday, or if I had a night before late night meeting on Skype, then it made me wake up late, and so I didn't have that live talk on that day. But during the past year and bit, we've been having 2 live talks a week, and we are on number 95, I believe, of our live talks. So we talk about matters of relationships, breakups, consciousness, thoughts, fear, desire, and ego, when we explore through discussions and hope to gain something out of it. So anyone with any questions, you can throw in already, and we can start our conversations. Now, don't throw all the questions at once, one at a time. I don't see any. What happened with you guys? What are you here? You think it's a show? It's not a comedy show. You gotta come up with, with questions to make it work. Without you, there is no live talk. So, participate. Prince. Prince says, what is a good indicator? Prince always comes to rescue. When nobody is talking, he comes up with the question that we need to start and push the conversation. So he says, what is a good indicator to find out if someone reacts to defend his her ego? Who cares? Why do you want to know if that person is defending his ego or not? You don't want to be their therapist. You just want to know if that's what they're doing. You just stop the respond and just move on. If you know why that person is doing what they're doing, and if that person is not willing to learn or doesn't want to or hasn't asked to know what it is or carry on the conversation, then don't take it upon your shoulders to teach everybody. You have no mission to teach everybody. You only can share with people who are interested. So whether they're defending their ego or not, you can reverse that into yourself and say, what are you doing at this scenario? If you were doing the same thing that that person is doing, then you can examine it inside your own psyche. Say, well, if I would do that, that would mean I'm not really attending to the issue. I'm actually defending my image or the ego. Through your own analysis of what you are doing and what you would be doing and turning it into yourself inwardly, you can figure out what that person is doing. But I wonder, other than the fact that you would get to know the motivation of that person for the continuation of discussion or debate or argument, there is no benefits to it other than the fact, well, this is time for you to cut loose and just go and don't continue the conversation, because obviously this person is not dealing with the issue, doesn't want to discuss or explore, just wants to defend something that we all know is not the right way to address anything, and just leads to more ambiguity and more conflicts and argument. Now, Mike says, we must all be here to listen. No. Listen, if I haven't been able to say what I wanted to say and what I wanted to share during the past 95 live talks, either I'm in trouble or you guys are deaf. So either way, it's a two-way street. We want to explore, we want to have a discussion. That's what we're doing here. So at least start it up, start the engine, and I'll take over. Rami says, what do you think about MGTO, men go their own way? What do you mean, what do I think? Everybody goes their own way. I don't understand that meaning of, if there's any other meaning other than what it says. Men go their own way. Everybody goes their own way. If you look at it, they may try to convince you to come along, but they're going their own way. If you're talking about selfishness, that's a different story. If you're talking about not being concerned about the environment or the other people, and they just care about what's good for them while it could harm others or so on, well, that's again different story. But I'm not sure if I understand the question here. Mark says, please never end your live talks. This has become a way of life for many of us. Well, I would love to do this more and more. However, I need to find viability. YouTube videos are now over 600, and every day I wake up with emails of thanks and appreciation and challenges that you want answered and addressed, and I do that. From the moment I open my eyes, I check and there's an email, and before I get up, I'm responding to someone's extreme situation or concerns, emotional concerns, or their situation. So I'm doing my part, and I'm actually have put out lots of videos. But still the videos don't have as many viewers as it could make it viable to dedicate more time. As you, many of you, hundreds of you have written me and told me that you've searched internet and seen other channels who address breakups, emotional problems, and such matters, and you find them of no use or very little use, or you find the contents totally not logical or helpful, and some of you call it nonsense, and you praise my channel graciously, and you appreciate the contents and the quality of the discussion, but yet those channels that you say they are no good have millions of viewers, hundreds of thousands of subscribers. So the question is whether I am not doing anything helpful to you guys or to people, or they're somehow getting number of viewers that I don't know how they're getting it, even though you tell me their contents are nonsense or not so helpful and not the way that you enjoy the contents of my videos in my channel. So something is not working right here. And of course, this is my passion and love, and I love to help more and more people, and it's becoming more and more popular. But at this point, I can't promise how much more time I can dedicate, because I dedicate lots of time. Even I stay up till 3, 4 o'clock in the morning sometimes if you have a Skype conversation with somewhere in Australia or Hong Kong or whatnot, because of time differences. So be sure that I'm doing my part, but I like to ask if there is a way for you guys to share more of my videos on your social media or promote it somehow. If you really believe it is as good as you say it is, then that would bring more subscribers to my channel, which would make it viable time-wise, encouragement, and economically to dedicate more time and effort to continue the quality and the help that we are, and the support that we are offering to everybody. So this part from my side is done. I'm holding the live talks, I'm answering the emails, I'm doing the Skype talks, I'm making quality videos, and discussing most all scenarios that could be around breakups and relationship problems and matters of thoughts and consciousness, fear, desire, and ego. So the rest of it, it's in the public's hand. So if you guys can promote it, share it, make the subscribers to be as many as these silly channels that you say they have, then of course that would give me a lot more encouragement and hope that I'm doing something right. Otherwise, you wonder if my quality of my videos and contents are so great, which I am convinced, without being facetious or blowing my own horn, I'm convinced by you guys that they are lifesavers and they are totally helpful. Then I would like to see where am I going wrong, because there should be a lot more subscribers. Anyhow, having said that, let's see if we have any other question here. Mark says many people would tend to be attracted to nonsensical videos to get a laugh out of it. They just want to laugh. I don't think most people wish to go deep and soak in the important lessons you impart. It's their fault. Well, okay. Thanks, Mark. I appreciate that. Yeah, I agree with you. However, we still need the numbers. So I need your help. I need everybody's help, that I mean, to share the videos you like on your social media and make sure that, you know, people get to know about our work. People get to know about the fact that there's support involved and this quality of discussions on YouTube is available. So they would get to know about it. Otherwise, what happened? I lost you all. Yeah, I got disconnected, so I want everybody back. I can't continue until I get everybody back. So, hello, Robert. Everybody who is now back online, we just lost everybody, got disconnected. Mark, yeah, I didn't hear the last sentence either. Somebody called and disrupted the the connection. So we're back. I was saying that I need everybody's help to simply share all the videos that you like, introduce the Facebook page that we have, Mind That Seeks Truth, and somehow get the word out that there's support available, and so they could join us, and then that would increase the subscribers on the YouTube, and then we can continue the mission that we have started, that I have started. I really like what I'm doing. At the same time, it has to become viable, you know. You all understand that. Because as much as I have asked everyone that I will do my part, and I have abide by that, which means when everybody wrote me and told me that they want to have the books, but it's expensive because it's paper and it's thick and there's so many pages and got to be shipped, then they're right. So I turned them into ebooks, and then the ebooks were about $30. And again, because of the currency difference between US dollar and other currencies around the world, I turned them into $4, $5, and $6, which is just dirt cheap, cost of a couple of cups of coffee. But I still don't see as many people who actually wrote me that they want these prices to be more affordable actually have purchased it. Hundreds and thousands have purchased, but it's not the numbers that shows people are interested to take their part in promoting what we are doing. And as much as I love to do all what I'm doing, which is my passion, and I love helping people, but unfortunately we live in a society or in an environment that economics come to picture and stops or encourages things to continue or not. So on that note, we need people to take advantage of the ebooks that are very inexpensive now, on videos on YouTube, the Facebook page and all that. So this word gets around, more subscribers and more this and that, so then economically becomes viable. It shows me that actually I am being helpful, not just to few, but also to many. Then that will change everything the way you guys like it. So on that note, you guys see what you can do, and I would also continue what I'm doing, and hopefully we can all make it all work and helpful to more people around the world. Now, the people who wrote some questions and we lost connections, please rewrite them because I can't see them here. Nicolaus says, maybe many people are ashamed to share psychological tips. Yes, Nicolaus, that is probably true. But then that is a time that they would need to deal with what is personally changing or affecting their image that they want other people to have of themselves, or the truth, and be free that, listen, this is a good bit to know, and here it is, I'm sharing it. Because if it's not shared, nobody will know. Because my tags on YouTube obviously is not as strong or correct as the channels that are actually getting millions of subscribers. So something gotta give. So if you guys have an idea or you can help out in any way that it would not jeopardize your own comfort zone, well, you know, it's more than welcomed. So let's see what we have here. If people have written their questions. Now, Robert says, Mehran, what do you think of texting an ex first? my response would be, my response, Robert, the first response to the first line would be, why would you text an ex at all? It's an ex for a reason. Ex. Yeah? Means not now, no more. Why do you want to text her at all? Now, he continues, what's the psychology behind it? As I miss my ex, but I know if I text her first, I will lose my honor because we broke up because she wanted to speak to where are we? Wow, this is a long one, isn't it? As I miss my ex, he says, but I know if I text her first, I will lose my honor because we broke up because she wanted to speak to other boys and have them as friends. But I disagree because I knew they want her too, so we broke up. But I do miss her, and if I text her, will she gain control? Or should I just leave the ex behind as what's broken won't be same? I wonder, what's your view on going back because I said my rules before to no other guys and she disagreed, and now if I go to her, I will look like a loser, right? That's a good question, Robert. Quickly send me your age. I want to know what age category we're talking about, you and her, both. And I'll start addressing it. First of all, if it's an ex, that means for a reason you guys broke up. If you broke up, then you should have thought of it before you break up. If you want to put up with some shit, then put up. If you don't want to put up, then when you announce it that you're not willing to put up, or this is not agreeable to you, or if she has some guidelines or expectations and tells you that she doesn't want you to hang around with other girls so much, and she explains to you that it's not about you want to be friend with them, is the fact that what those girls want from you, which you don't know, and you still don't get it, and you hang around with the girls, then she obviously going to say, well, that's not working for me. That's not what she expects. So if all these have been considered before the actual commitment to break up, then you wouldn't have a problem with it. But if you just break up because your image has been, tarnished, or you don't feel it's an emotional decision that you make right on the spot, just to gain control, or to show your manhood, or to show that you're this or that, well, then that's a little bit too hasty of a decision, right? So I still don't have the age. So getting back to the meat of the matter is that I assume that you're at an early age, like in your 20s. And at that age, both boys and girls have curiosities about the attention they're receiving, and how that would mean, what that would mean to their worth and self-confidence. Because everybody's looking for attention, especially in that age, because they feel the attention of other people will make them to feel likable, popular, confident, or not. Their value goes up and down with the other people's attention, unfortunately. Where the other people themselves, who are paying attention to her and she's looking for their attention, they're themselves looking for somebody else's attention to make them feel good. So that means the source of the attention that is coming to you is just nonsense, bullshit. It shouldn't have anything to do with how you feel about yourself. Because who are those people that their attention towards you would make you feel important? Are they of any intelligence of having brought about any kind of extraordinary qualities to life, to population on Earth? Have they come up with cure to something? Or is it just some guy or some girl who just says, oh, you're hot, or this and that? I mean, how could that really, in reality, in actuality, increase your worth and value in your own mind? If that is all you need to feel important, this is why everybody keeps doing nothing and just hanging around, just dressing up nicely, or physically want to be popular, just so feels good about himself. Then there's no need to go to school or to learn something or become somebody, as far as coming up with ideas to better human beings' life or your own life. Learn trades, sciences, and so on and so forth. Whatever it is that you're interested to do in life, to produce something, to make something, to add something to the society, to bring your own value in your mind based on what you're adding to the humanity. Because if that's all you care about is to be popular, well, where is it the end of popularity? Where does it go? What does it give you? Nothing. It's just a bunch of hot air. Some other people, their need is to say you're hot and to be with you, eventually get to know you, eventually maybe sleep with you. But what did it gain you? Nothing. And those people got their way, and then eventually they leave to something else, because you're not really what they're looking for. You're something that makes them feel important. And none of that really has any roots, so you can really grow anything on it or build no solid foundation to build anything on it. So if these are realized, the couple would never really give in to this idea that I need to have so many girls, or girls, so many guys to pay attention to me, so I would feel whole, so I would feel I'm somebody. That wouldn't happen if they can understand what it is that they're seeking that is actually not so valuable. So if these things are discussed or understood, then these sort of questions or situations would not happen, because both sides have understood the importance or unimportance of these sort of things. So if it has happened and you guys have separated because of this particular thing, is That's the age that you guys are in. It's maybe too early for her to understand all that what I just discussed. She just wants what is obvious, that surface popularity, that people like me, pay attention to me, so I feel something. Because, you know, in the societies in the world that we live in, it's all unfortunately about comparison, competition. You know, guys try to be the best of the best, and they are the best. They should be looked upon that way, and the girls trying to be prettier and nicer and better than the other girls, and all these whole pressure of that you should be something other than what you are, that's caused this problem. Because then everybody goes out, I want to be something more than what I am. So how can I get that? If somebody else pays attention to me, and another person pays attention, I'm more, and then the next one, and if I have the more people I have paying attention to me, the more I am better, and therefore I'm better than this other girl, this other guy, and so on and so forth. These are what's going on in their mind, because it's a young mind, and they haven't learned where the actual, that elusive psychological security comes from. Where is and how is their consciousness is put together, and why are they behaving, acting, reacting the way they do. It's all about these fears and desire and their ego and the comparison and to be more, and to feel as if they are popular makes them feel like as if they've become somebody, and everybody has been brainwashed to become somebody. I want to be more, and this more, I don't know how, but it feels good when somebody pays attention to me, so let me just cater to that. Let me go, and maybe the girl says, let me wear, you know, different dress today, or, you know, put up with things so I'll be popular. Or the guy would say, maybe I should have, you know, more money, or have this kind of a clothes, or that kind of a car, or whatever it is. All these disconnections are driving me nuts. Yeah, I know. I don't know how to disconnect the phone ringing when I am actually on air, because every time somebody calls, I seem to get disconnected today. But before it wasn't like that. So yeah, that would be nice, Prince. That would be very kind of you. Yeah, that would be great. Please do. So we got disconnected for the second time, and okay. Now, I will continue responding to that other question. We finish that up before I go to the next question. But thank you, Prince, for copying and pasting all these. Very kind of you. So, as I was saying, so the girl is, you know, and the guy is doing whatever they can so they can get that popularity. So that would, you know, make them feel good. But otherwise, in reality, it's not really doing anything. So if that's the age that you guys are in, then unless you guys understand what you're pursuing is not really to the benefit of the relationship, it's just to some kind of a useless attention that you're receiving, and then things will look better. Now, as far as you texting her whatnot, that he would be in control or not, forget about control. Focus on communication. Obviously, that is what she feels good to have, those attentions and those other boys to talk about. So let her go. Let her go and let her be in her own comfort zone, and eventually she may come to her senses, and that's the time that she realizes the number of boys paying attention to her is not really where it's all at. It's the quality of the relationship, not the number of attention that she receives. And the same thing with you. And then by that time, of course, it's maybe too late and you've gone on your way. You should. So let's go to the next question. Hopefully this will not get disconnected again. So W.D. Bosco says, I had my relationship at a young age, but I finished my study and got my bachelor's degree to make my parents proud of me. But in my case, I am always feeling upset whenever my mama refuses my boyfriend. I don't understand why she is treated him like no one is around. She ignores him. Well, it is natural for any parents to think nothing is good enough for their offspring, for their daughter or for their son. It's just the natural instinct that comes with the package of being a parent. Just imagine you helped raise some living being. Well, I can't use the analogy of child because you don't have a child and you're young. But let's say you have a little pet or have a newborn horse, and you take care of this little pet or this horse, and you clean them, you feed them, you take care of them, you walk them, and you play with them for 18 years. Of course, in the horse age, 18 years is very old, but we're just talking about time. And then at 18, 19, she or somebody else wants to play with that pet, or somebody else wants to ride that horse, or somebody else wants to connect with that animal or that pet that you raised. You'll be very careful, and you will say, hey, don't do this, don't do that. The things that you would even maybe do, but you would be protective of that what you have helped raise. And you don't think anybody would be caring enough, careful enough to play and handle and interact with that puppy or that horse that you helped raise good enough, carefully enough, compassionate enough, kind enough. So that would be the main objection. And the same thing your mom is doing. It's not that she wants to be rude. She shouldn't. She should give chance to that boy who's being courteous and nice and kind to you, and get to know him and create a connection. This is a normal interaction between boy and girl that will happen regardless she likes it or not. But the fact that she's not doing it because naturally she thinks nobody's good enough for you. So you need to discuss with her that, Mom, getting a friend, it's not the end of the world. And nobody's good enough for anybody at the beginning. But when they get to know each other, they can compromise, they can, make things change, they can understand each other's needs and expectations, and that's how they become good enough. Otherwise, from the outset, nobody's good enough for anybody. Until their consciousness gets to know each other, they understand how it's been put together, they can communicate on different levels than just physical interactions, sports and gathering and lunch and dinner and dancing and intimacy. Beyond this, that's where the actual getting to know each other takes place. And that's when they will be able to be good enough or not good enough. So you got to discuss these. Otherwise you can say, Mom, there will be no one that would be good enough in your opinion unless you get to know them. How can you say someone isn't good enough or not good enough if you don't actually get to know them. And you can only get to know them by paying attention to them, communicating with them, being kind to them, showing them what it is that you expect somehow, if you want to be that involved. So this communication should take place. Perhaps it will help her to know what she's doing is not really helpful while you understand why she's doing it. So you kind of encourage her to be more open and see the actuality of things rather than her perception of how it was maybe with her husband or when she was growing up, and she's not really seeing it as it is. She's perceiving it as how it was then and what the intentions were and all these old traditions and things like that. So this communication would perhaps be a little bit helpful. Now, let's see. So we had that. Nishant says, what is the cause of insecurities? Ooh, big question. That question is at least an hour discussion. So for that question, you can go to my YouTube channel, and on my channel, search for mechanical process, psychological security, or go to my playlist called The Psyche. In that playlist, you will find the answer to this question, which is quite a good question, and I love to talk about it. But this is not the place for it, because I've already discussed this in long lectures of, I guess we are on number 5 live talks. I think I had that number 3 or 4 or 8. It was a year ago. But if you go on my YouTube channel and click on Live Talk 2016 playlist or The Psyche, between these two playlists you will find many of the live talks that has a title that in it we've discussed this, or the earlier on live talks that were exclusively just lectures, no discussions, and you can see the title of it to see if it fits what you're looking for, or at the playlist The Psyche you will find discussions on this matter. Now that was a very good question. I was tempted to get into it, of course. you pushed your finger on what I want to. I'm waiting, pouncing on this question, but it's going to be longer than what we hoped for. And so, kindly, Prince has copied in the questions that were already put in when we got disconnected. So the other question that he has put in is from Mike Murdoch. It says, do you know of the narcissistic? Okay, I get more questions than I get now. I think we got enough questions to continue for the why. Murdoch says, do you know of the narcissistic personality disorder type people, and is there any way to deal with them or just to be avoided? Just avoid them. Just avoid them. It's like saying, how to deal with a poisonous, venomous snake. Well, you can deal with it, but in the process you can get stung a few times, and you may even just lose interest of, life itself. So if you can, definitely avoid these idiots and just go on and move on. Don't get hooked on what physical benefits or pleasures you may receive, or some kind of a security because of that person provides something. I don't know if that narcissistic personality is a woman or a man that you're talking about, but nevertheless, whatever it is that you receive as far as pleasure or benefit from it, it's never ever worth what you're going to have to put up with, all the manipulations, all the ups and downs, so on. Leave that and go build something out of yourself, become self uh, become independent in every way, as far as financially or emotionally and so on, and then you will be more qualified to expect higher quality, expect quality people, because these narcissistic people are not quality people. They're just nuts, and you don't want to have anything to do with them because they have lots of shortcomings, and they want to hold you responsible for all those shortcomings, because they're just simply not the right energy to be around. So now let's go to the next question. We have MK Huang says, hi, hello dear, it's been a while since I saw you here. Ashna Handa says, we broke up 6 months before, but we both regret it. But we can't be together, and I am still depressed. Can't get him out of my head. Forgo how to live. Please help me. Ashna, you just said it logically to yourself that you broke up for a reason. And missing that person, it's natural. When you break up with someone, you will tend to miss. Then the more you think about that person and stop thinking about what was wrong with that relationship and keep focusing on what was good about it, you will miss that person more, and you will forget about why we broke up ever. And then you think, oh, I regret it. I shouldn't have broke up, because you can't really put yourself back where it was and how it was that caused you to break up. And then you say, if you guys both are regretting it, why don't you both then decide to get back together and then break up again and then figure, that's why I broke up. But realize that's not the end of the world. The whole life cannot be condensed to one person or one relationship that didn't work. So you gotta give more credit to life. The problem is when something goes wrong in our lives, in these sort of things, of course, you panic. You think that the only thing that exists is the now. Past is dead, we talked about it. Future doesn't exist. And you feel there is nothing outside of what I know and what I can see at this moment exists. Because for me to believe something, I gotta see it or I gotta know it. And you don't see any other relationship or don't know any other relationship can come to your life. Therefore, on that premise, you feel there will never be anything more. And you panic because you're accustomed to only be hopeful and to accept, believe something that you can see or something that you know. Since you neither know that there's going to be any other relationship, nor would you see someone lining up to get to know you, you think then there is nothing other than this what it was. And for that you panic, you get anxiety, and you get depressed, because you cannot understand that yes, the past is dead, future doesn't exist, and the now is the only thing. But what most people forget is that there's lots of now moments. It's not only one now moment. Only this very moment, compared to this very moment, the past is dead, the future doesn't exist. But this very moment becomes past very quickly, and there is another now. There's millions of these nows that they're going to be arriving as soon as this one is done. This moment is done. So, on that basis, knowing that there are millions and billions of nows going to follow this now, that you say there's nothing else but this moment, knowing that there's billions of more nows other than this now, will give you that feeling of confidence that yes, even though I don't see or I don't know, that other relationships with other people will be interested in me, but I damn well know that what I cannot see in the now, I may be able to see in the next now, which will be always following the every now that you're in. That tells you this now that relationship has ended in it is not the end of the nows. It's not the end of time. It's not the end of life. It's just one fragment, one fraction of all the nows that put your life together, that something in it didn't work. But because there are going to be a lot more nows to come, many other things in it could also with it come. And you will get to see, to know, and to see and experience it then. With that premise, with that knowledge, you won't be depressed, because you will always know there's going to be a lot more yet to come. Just as this came, which at one point wasn't in existence, you didn't know it, you didn't see it, but it happened. The same will happen again and again and again and again in the many other nows that will form your life to come. I hope that would be something for you, Tony, helpful, and Ashna, to think about it. MK from USA. Oh, okay, good. MK says, is there such thing as twin flame? You mean you liking two persons at the same time? Or is it two people liking each other? I just experienced this, but just want to confirm. Well, explain a little bit more, because I want to understand what you mean by twin flame. I'm a little bit confused here. So, now, W.D. Bosco says, now, WD, what does WD stand for? It all reminds me when I was a student in college and I was working in a gas station. There are different kind of oil that people would want for their cars. WD-40, WD-10, WD-15, WD-30, depending how old or new the car was, we would know what to put in there. So, I don't want to think of you as a motor oil. So, is that stand for William, or what is it? So, at least I know Bosco's name. And he says, we've been in a relationship now for 7 years. And all I want is to accept him as my boyfriend. We are always wanted to do good and show her good things, but she is always refusing it. Well, sit with your mother. I guess you're the one where we talked about mom's not accepting your boyfriend, right? Let me just double check. Yeah, okay, yeah, you are. So you need to sit down with your mom and say, Mom, are you going to marry me? Are you going to sleep beside me? Are you going to take care of me forever? Are you going to give me that feeling of being in an intimate relationship that I need? Are you going to do all this? Because each person in my life has their own place. Nobody can be my mother. Nobody can be you, Mom. Nobody can do what you do, the love you have, the protection, the feeling you have for me, the connection that we have. And at the same time, Mom, nobody can be, in a relationship with me, an intimate relationship with me, than the person that I choose. You can't be that person, as that person cannot be my mother. Each person has their own role in people's lives. So will you please tell me, what do you want me to do if I tell this relationship not good enough for me, that relationship not good enough for me, this one not good enough, that? Are you going to be my sweetheart? What is it? So you better understand that me loving or liking somebody else does not take away from my respect and love for you and appreciation for you. If that's what's in your mind. Otherwise, if you want something good for me, then why don't you let me also enjoy my life, and at the same time, I will be the judge of it, if that person is good enough for me or not. You got to have respect and faith in me as much as I have for you. Perhaps this conversation would be something you would follow up with. Now, again, WD says she's been doing this for a couple of years. I don't want to get mad to her because she's mama. Yeah, okay, we discussed that. Now, Diane says, I ended a 12-year relationship with borderline personality man. He became very verbally abusive. It's taken a lot on me. Healing is so hard. Why? Well, 12 years of conditioning. You put up with something for 12 years. Even a jailed person will get attached to the jailer and will look at the jailer as some necessity, even though the jailer has jailed him. I'm not talking about a criminal being in jail. I'm talking about someone who's been abducted and has been kept captive. And even in that situation, the captive will gain certain kind of a familiarity with the captor and gets used to it and depends on it. And all that eventually becomes part of the norm, order of his life. A certain mechanical process has been created. The jailer comes, brings food at a certain hour. He's in control of letting you out of the jail to go and walk in the sun a little bit. All of that conditioning, the mechanical process, plus the mechanical process that has been created by you expecting food certain hour, I will eat this, then I will go out, then I will walk, then I will do. These are the things that you got to do in order for your brain to believe that there is an order here in your life. You need that whole order to continue for you to feel secure and psychologically balanced. And this has been done through this 12 years of relationship with this person. And you have become used to that mechanical process that's been created by this narcissistic or borderline personality disorder person in relation with you. And you've gotten used to all that things that you would do during the day with him or with your time because of this relationship being the way it was. And that has given you certain kind of a psychological balance, because mechanical process brings that illusory psychological balance. And then that also conditions you that you have this order. And now, breaking up with that, as healthy as it could be in many angles for your life, at the same time, it takes a while before a new order is created, and the old order is now forgotten. And the new mechanical process is created in your life as you deal with new life without this whole old order had to do with the old mechanical process. That's going to take a bit of time. But the more you realize that that whole thing that you feel depressed or you trying to heal and all that, that you find it difficult, is because of the conditioning of the time that it took for you to feel emotion and sympathy for your captor in a way, or to put up with whatever it was that you had to put up with. And that had become your order. And now what is not there anymore is that you feel the old order is not there, so you feel a disorder. Until you create a new order in your life, this is going to be a little difficult. So keep going forward, learn new things, socialize, and create a new mechanical process for yourself, which is what I do this day, today, this hour, that hour, all the things that you do to make yourself feel useful and good. And eventually a new order will be created for you, and you will be free from this. And don't keep thinking about how bad it was. It was bad. Now you're not there. So keep going on. Look forward. Nishant Mehta says, do you have any idea about retroactive jealousy disorder? Well, I can understand what it is, but you need to give me a scenario, so at least I would be able to focus on what it is that you are looking at. Ashna Handa says, thank you, you're welcome. Amber Khan says, great discussion, like always. Good to see you, Amber. Now, have we answered all questions here? I believe I have. I believe I have. So, if that's the case, Prince, what time do we have? I think we had a number of good questions that we addressed. Sorry that it was interrupted a couple of times, but 12:38. Okay, well, that's the time that we can say, have a good day, guys. Amber says, I came after so long. Hope you have been well. Good to see you. Good to see you too, dear. I'm glad that you could make it today. So, thank you very much, everybody, for being here today. I enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did, and hope you will sort things out through your week. Be good to yourself and to your loved ones, and take good care of yourself and the others. I love you all, and see you either tomorrow at the Amazing Things in the World Facebook page for another live talk, or next week, same time, same place. Talk to you later. Bye for now.